Hey everybody, recently everyone has been asking me what's the difference between jumbling and shapeshifting. So today I'm going to do a little clarification video. So here I have my axis cube, and this is a 3x3, but it was all shaven down and cut up and stickered and glued and whatever to make it shapeshift. And what shapeshift is I can do a 90-degree turn on a centerpiece, which is right here, and I can turn any other side and it will still be fully functional. It will lose its shape, but you can mess it up any way you want and it will still function the way a normal cube would. Now, what this is different from any other thing though is because there's jumbling. And what jumbling is for example the helicopter cube. When you rotate it, you're supposed to do 180-degree turns, and that allows you to turn any other edge, and it allows it to function properly. But what happens is, if you do 65-degree turn, you can still rotate another side, which causes it to jumble. See, now it has lost its cubic shape. But what this does is, these pieces are now lined up, but I cannot rotate it properly because there's a little edge piece right here sticking up and blocking its rotation path. Right here, this blue piece. That is blocking it from turning. And what that does is, now you have a problem because you have to get it back into cubic form and then solve it. Whereas shape-shifting, it's all messed up and you can still rotate it completely and it's still fully functional. That's the difference between jumbling. Now, on the Technics, which I actually got really close to solving, I just had 5 edge pieces that I needed to do a J-perm and an S-perm on from the Megaminx algorithms, and I messed up, so I just took it all apart. But what this puzzle is different about the others is this one doesn't shapeshift, it jumbles. And the reason you can tell that right away is because there's a small side, this little guy, and there are huge sides with 6 sides on it. This has 5, this is a pentagon, and this is a hexagon. So, now you're thinking, okay, well, how does it jumble? Well, as you can see, this piece right here is very fat, and this piece is very skinny. See? Fat, skinny, fat, skinny. No offense to people out there. Not trying to be insulting, I'm making a point. These are fatter than these. The fat guys rotate along these little sides. But if you take a skinny guy, one of these edges, and you put the skinny edge along this side, and you rotate it, which is you're more than able to do, as you can see, it's very hard to turn. I could only do 1 turn with that. And now I can't turn any other side because it's not functional. This is jumbling. This piece does not belong here. It's not the fat piece. See how it's curved right here along the center? This should be a fat piece. See how the skinny pieces are on the pointed part of the center and the fat guys go on the curved part? Well, if you have a skinny guy on the curved part, that gives you jumbling. And now you can't solve it because it's not fully functional. And you basically need to put it back to the way it was so that it can become functional, because it's very hard to rotate when it's jumbled. It's not supposed to, but it is. That's why when we rotate the sides, we keep the fat sides with the little centers. So we have to do double turns. So 1, 2, and you can rotate it. 1, 2, and you can rotate it. If you do 1 turn, you can't rotate it. Unless your puzzle's really loose, it will be very hard to solve if you jumble this puzzle. Especially because there's 32 sides and you're going to be wanting to solve it as fast as possible and throw it at a wall so that you don't ever have to mess it up again. Because that's how I felt after sitting here for 6 hours, getting every side except for the last one, and messing up, so that all the sides around the little center got messed up. So I just took it all apart. So I mean, again, you can do 1 turns and shape and jumble it so it doesn't turn. Now it's not functional. I'm a strong guy. I mean, like, I just rotated it and it kicked the centerpiece out. I mean, this is damaging to your puzzle. When I try pulling on it, this red piece right here, this red and blue, is getting lifted up. You can see the giant gaping hole in it. That's why you don't want to jumble it, because not only can you not solve it, it's hard to rotate and it can hurt your hands and you can damage your puzzle. So, I mean, and these caps, they don't come out. I can't pull them out with my finger. Like, they're in there. For that to pop out, that's a lot of pressure on that one piece. So if you jumble it, you can risk breaking your puzzle because there's so much pressure on the plastic that they can start cracking and they can start shattering and they can break. So again, in case you don't understand it, I'll show it on the helicopter cube again. You're supposed to rotate it 180 degrees so that you can turn any other side. But if you do like a 60-degree turn where it's like this, you can still rotate any other side on the puzzle. See that? It's like this, but I can still rotate it. That causes it to jumble, because now I have it like this, where these pieces are lined up. But this is not functional, because there's an edge sticking out right here, blocking its rotation path. And here, this mess. A corner should be here, not an edge. I can't rotate this. It's not functional. That's why the helicopter cube is so hard to solve if it's messed up like this, because you have to get it back into its cubic form and then go about solving it. So, I mean, I hope this clarifies for you guys. I mean, it's not that hard of a concept between jumbling and shapeshifting. Because shapeshifting, just think of it as any cube you have that changes shape. The octagonal prism, axis cube, hexagonal dipyramid, I could name a bunch. I mean, they're all shape-shifting puzzles. So, I mean, I hope this clarified, guys. If it doesn't help, please let me know. I'll make another video. I'll spend my time. I want to help you guys. I don't want you struggling to understand these concepts. So, I mean, yeah, I gotta figure out how to solve this now. I messed it up. But, I mean, again, 1 turn, it's not fully functional. I can only turn this once. I can't turn it again. This piece is popping out of the puzzle. It's literally coming out. I can dig my finger under there and pull on it. This puzzle's so well constructed that you can't. That's why it's not fully functional anymore. Because if it was functional, all the pieces would just go flying everywhere. But it's such a good build that they won't pop out. But if I do another turn, which makes 2 turns, I can rotate this without even struggling. So I mean, you really don't want to jumble it. I mean, it's cool for the helicopter cube because it completely loses its shape. But even here, like, if you force this to turn, like if you shapeshift it, and you just start like forcing a piece to turn, like here, and you just like rip the pieces out trying to rotate it, you can break your puzzle. I mean, sure, people are gonna say, oh, it's just a puzzle, but I mean, this thing was expensive. You don't want to break it. You don't want to break $65 puzzles. I mean, these things, you spend 5 hours stickering it, you don't want to break it. So, I mean, come on, be smart, guys. Use your head. Thanks for watching.